We're going to go ahead and give I know it's early, but we're going to go ahead and give our trading deadline winners. Dylan, who you got?
Pittsburgh Pirates. Maybe not like, oh my gosh, they won the World Series today, right? But their front office showed that fan base that, hey, we're going to try, you know? The Pittsburgh Pirates sat there and said, we're going to try. They acquired Brian De La Cruz, a solid outfielder. The Pirates outfield has needed help since the days of losing Polanco and Marte and McCutchen. I mean, prime McCutchen. Since then, they've got Brian Reynolds, and that's been it. Sawinski's up and down. They've never really had a right fielder sustainable out there. So I think this move of Brian De La Cruz just gives them another right-handed bat that they desperately needed. I would have preferred Luis Robert. I know that probably would have given up more prospect capital than they would have hoped, but getting a Brian De La Cruz in there is a great move for them. And they made a good move there with Brian De La Cruz. And then they made a Isaiah Kiner-Falefa trade earlier. That's a versatility piece. They can move around. Their depth got better in that aspect of it. They acquired a lefty, Jalen Beeks, from the Rays. That helps out their bullpen, which is a solid pen when healthy. David Bednar in the back end, Aroldis Chapman, Colin Holderman. Like, there's some solid pieces in that bullpen for them. And the rotation. I mean, if they truly want to give Skeens the full ride, they might as well give him the full ride and give him a shot here, because this team's going all in, at least from the outside, it appears.
Yeah, no, it's really good with those two top of the line pitching gurus they got in that rotation right now. It's definitely very nice that they add some help in their outfield. So I'm going to stick in the Central here, but I'm going to go to the AL. My trading deadline winner, the Cleveland Guardians. I love the addition of Lane Thomas. He's a good, solid bat that can make an impact in that lineup instantly. His power has declined from last year, but his elite speed will play really well in Progressive Field. And in that lineup with Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor to do all the heavy lifting power-wise, I think it's a great move with low cost, and he has club control through 2025. I also like the move to get Alex Cobb, too. That's who's been on the league for a long time and is just reliable. He has a sub-4 ERA and costs way less than what the Orioles gave up for a pitcher with the worst statistics today. So we'll get into that later. But Cobb is a veteran. He's going to get the job done. He's going to eat innings and be a net positive in that clubhouse. Kudos to the Guardians front office.
Yeah, I think with that move there, I had him down in our next segment. I love Lane Thomas. Power, speed, combination. And they're another team that was one outfielder away. I think maybe not an outfielder away from the World Series, but I think they needed it because they have needed outfield help for a very, very long time. Steven Kwan's the only thing out there. Center field's an absolute question mark. They tried Miles Straw a couple of years ago. That's terrible. They got a little half-season run of Mr. Oscar Gonzalez, who turned out to be a bust after that. So they have needed help, and I think they finally got it with Lane Thomas. He's a great addition for them as well. The Guardians, going back to Cobb, too. He hasn't pitched this year. They sent him out on a rehab assignment, so he's going to be ready to go to make his debut. But once again, he was an all-star last year, looked really good in San Francisco. I think that's a great piece.
Yeah, I agree as well. For those that are listening, drop in the comments, watching on YouTube, let us know who your trading deadline winners are. Do you agree with Dylan and I? If not, drop them down in the comments.